All right. Well, with that being said, we got a great show for you, but let's get right into it. Nicole coming on. Nicole of RDU. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
No, that's not what you said before.
I'm really mad.
There you go.
Really mad.
Nicole's mad. She's on fire. You can't tell, but she is. She's going to spill the beans here. Nicole, welcome to the show. You're no stranger. I don't know, 3-4 times I think you've been on. Thank you for coming on. Last second, I texted her yesterday. Goes, can you come up? I goes, okay, I'll do it. So again, thank you so much. So we're going to talk about 3 things today, and then whatever else you want to do, just empty your whatever you have going. So we're going to talk about the potential billions in settlement with Uber and Lyft that are ongoing. With I think is it 3 city AGs and 1 state AG, right?
Yeah, and the labor commission.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that, the latest developments, as much as you can tell us, obviously, because I do want some of that money, okay? And we're going to talk about 2 items. One is called AB 1340, and SB stands for Senate Bill, AB for Assembly Bill, SB 371, which we talked about last week, but there has been some developments. Who better about these things than Nicole? So, floor is yours.
Yeah, we witnessed a total giveaway yesterday, or I guess it was Friday. It feels like yesterday. Yeah, I mean, people walked into a room, gave Uber and Lyft millions and millions of dollars with 371, which basically like trashes, commercial insurance. Makes me wonder if drivers are going to be adequately protected by insurance. It's going to save the companies millions and millions.
Yep. Well,
and did the people advocating for drivers in that room, did they walk out with?
Okay. Were you in that room? Were you in that room?
No.
Was I in that room?
I don't know. Was there a driver in the room? Could the driver in the room please stand up?
There was no driver in that room. They were all back office, what do you call those? Backdoor bullshit, whatever that was. Every time I do actually approach some of these officials, I go, I would like to be in the room. I would like to be on the table, because you guys, are not drivers. You guys don't know what's going on. With all due respect, you guys know about the law, but you guys don't know about the reality on the street. And they always, shine me off. So I'm sure they go, hey, this guy wants to join. Uber goes, no, we're not going to have him in here. But anyway, so let's talk a little about the settlement talks. What's going on? How much money are we getting?
For the headline there, we don't know.
We don't know that either.
We know that they owe us billions and billions of dollars. I think what pissed me off last week was the $20 billion stock buyback. It's like, we know these companies have $20 billion, for stock, but they do not have it for drivers, and they took it out of our own pockets. Yeah. So, what we're really, the state, that's the Labor Commission, the Attorney General, 3 cities, San Francisco, San Diego, LA, are all in that suit to get drivers' money back from 2016 to 2020. If you drove during that time in California for Lyft or Uber, you're part of that suit. You don't have to worry about, having to sign up somewhere. You're part of it if you drove. But 5,000 RDU drivers, Rideshare Drivers United folks, filled in those claims in 2020, and 5,000 of us were owed $1.3 billion. Half of that is damages, right? But the other half is just straight pay that we should have gotten that we didn't, straight expenses we didn't get reimbursed for. So we're owed a lot of money, especially when you think it's got to be, what do you think, you guys, like 240,000 drivers that are covered by the suit now? Like maybe 300,000?
I hope not. I hope it's some substantial amount, number one. Number two, again, like the parties who are truly interested in the settlement talks, the drivers, RDU, myself, whatever, we're not in there, right? So we don't know what's going on. Honestly, we don't want to like say that we don't know, but we truly don't know. It's behind closed doors, and hopefully the city and state AGs don't bend over. That's all I can say. That's
and
one.
And we've been there, right? You know, since we filed the wage claims in 2020, RDU has, you know, drivers have met with the different agencies that are part of those lawsuits, you know, on a regular basis. And it used to be that we could have a back and forth conversation about what's going on with the courts and that kind of thing. Now that they're in settlement negotiations, they cannot talk about what's happening in there. So they've had to pull back. But what's been great is just the outpouring of, you know, demand from drivers not to back down on this, you know, telling the state, you know, and I was explaining this to folks the other day, like the state and the cities are on our side, right? They're fighting on our behalf, right? So what we're doing from the side is, it's like when your little kid's sister or brother's in a fight for the first time, and you're like, no, get him hard with the left, do this, you know, like we're kind of telling them what to, you know, how to fight harder, and, you know, telling them stuff like, you know, if we get a penny less, then the next place to go is on our rates right now. Because, you know, Prop 22 doesn't let legislation happen, doesn't let regulation happen to raise our pay. Those are the ways people have raised pay in other states, is through legislation. Prop 22 says nobody can do it, just 22. That's the only thing. Well, guess what? In a settlement, you can force the company to sign something that says they're gonna pay us better. So, you know, I mean, first of all the drivers who got money stolen, we deserve our money back. And if the companies cry poor, then let's remember the $20 billion that they're giving away in stock buybacks. And let's also remember that this is our time to win. And if they're not going to give us a penny of what that we're owed, then they need to, you know, sign off on a rate card.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, one at a time.
Commission instead of 70% commission, stuff like
one
that.
At a time. Look, one at a time, I think, is the way to go. But I think, honestly, the companies since 2016. Okay, so folks, please don't email me like a million people will email me now saying, where do I sign up for this lawsuit? It's not a class action lawsuit.
Right.
If you drove for Uber or Lyft between 2016 and 2020 until Prop 22 showed up, you are part of this group. It's not a class action lawsuit. It's different. You are entitled. So don't email me saying, what do I do? That's one. Two, between 2016, Nicole, and 2020, whatever happened. We know what happened. But then from 2020 to 2025, it's 5 years. In those 5 years, whatever Uber and Lyft are going to cough up, you know, don't they do this anyway everywhere? Right? They do the same thing. They just extend and extend and extend and extend. By the time they pay you the pennies, they already made up like 5x the money that they're going to pay you anyway. Mm-hmm. So, and the politicians don't understand that, you know what I mean? So, and we'll see. I don't know. I've drove full time between 2016 and probably 2019. So I want my money. But so that's that. That's the update on that.
Yeah. And what I want to say is that drivers right now can help their little brother, sister fight harder on our behalf. Okay. We have a petition going right now. It's the top of our webpage, drivers-united.org. And it's a petition that says, make sure we get our money. Don't come back with $1 billion. $1 billion is barely a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, 1.3 billion is how much 5,000 drivers were owed.
Yeah.
So if we're really talking about 300,000 drivers, then it's a lot more money than that.
Yeah. This could be multi-billions. It really could be, depending how they calculate all the stuff. But, you know, please, folks, for whoever's watching now and later, go to the RDU website. Please sign the petition. I actually forgot about that. But, yeah, please do sign it. It's, you're not signing to be part of anything. Don't get paranoid. It's just a petition for the legislators. How many signatures you have to collect? 10,000?
Well, I mean, it's to put pressure on our allies who are fighting it, to say, stay strong. And, Bonta is our attorney general. He's elected. I think we have like 8,000 signatures now. We should be able to have 10,000, 12,000, right? So find everybody, new drivers, whatever. If you've signed it, great. Go get a couple friends to sign it,
Well,
we need to keep the pressure on him. He's elected.
Please go sign it, folks. And tell your friends, tell every driver knows another driver, please go sign it. Okay, that's one. Number two, we're going to, you said 300,000. I think it's a lot more than that, actually, between 2016 and 2020, because let's pivot or switch to, which one do you want to go first, AB 340, or you want to talk about it together with the 371? Because in that, everybody says there are 800,000 drivers in California. I mean, I believe it, because I think California is the Uber and Lyft's largest marketplace. So let me just refresh folks' memory. Uber and Lyft have been complaining about high commercial insurance rates forever now. They blame high fares on the riders to high commercial insurance rates. Okay, let's take their word for it for a second. They have been supporting Uber. Actually, this is public information. Uber spent $20 million in California to change the insurance laws and to get a break on the commercial insurance rates on UI, meaning uninsured, uninsured motorist, and UIM, uninsured motorist and underinsured motorist. So the limits were $1 million per occurrence. Now they want to cut that to $60,000 and $300,000. That's a huge cut. And Uber and Lyft are both saying they've been supporting this. They're saying that now we're going to have more riders because more riders will be able to afford trips, because the trip fares cost on the rider is going to go down. There's not a word of if the driver is going to make more. I'm putting my money on, actually, their take rate is going to go balloon up now immensely, because they're not going to pass on any of those savings. Maybe they'll pass on 5% of the savings that they're going to receive to the rider. None of it is going to go to the driver. That's my assessment. So SB 371 was agreed to, and Uber and Lyft also agreed for the drivers in California to collectively bargain. That's AB 1340. So you tell us, Nicole, what happened there? You're mad. I'm mad.
This is a legislative process. The people we elect are supposed to make laws for us, right? And so, I'm an optimist. I take that at my word, at their word. And there were, there's 20,000 drivers that are part of Rideshare Drivers United. In a lot of conversations, we decided, hey, this AB, 1340, it's kind of a different idea how to get around Prop 22. But we've been building a union for 7 years, 8 years. That's what we're doing. 1340 would give any organization that wanted to be a union the opportunity to have voters or to have drivers vote them in, and it would also mandate that the parties, being Lyft and Uber, bargain with whoever becomes the union, right? So, and then in negotiations, the companies could sign that they're going to pay us more than this dungeon that Prop 22 has assigned to us. So it's a good idea, right?
Yep.
It's a good idea. We've all watched Starbucks employees and Amazon employees who are protected by the national law because they don't have Prop 22 sitting on their neck. They've been organizing unions, trying to get better stuff happening. And they're saying, hey, the national law needs to be stronger because it's hard to get that first contract. So you think in California, where, we're a basically pro-union state, the kind of bill we would pass would be stronger than the national bill. The only reason we have to pass a state law is because Prop 22 took our rights away nationally because it assigned us independent contractor status. So let's make a bill that allows us to organize. That's a great idea. We support it, but we want it to be stronger. Yeah. So over the last couple months, RDU members, we figured out 7 ways we thought the bill should be stronger. And we've been talking to our representatives. We've been emailing our representatives. We went up to, a couple of us went up to Sacramento a couple times, but, a whole load of us went up there and we said, we support this, but we want it to be stronger, and here's how. There's you can look at that. It's on our website, like the 7 ways, for one thing, Lyft and Uber should be forced to talk about our wait time and our expenses when they talk about our wages. Let's just put that in there. We're not going to, because of Prop 22, this law can't dictate that we're going to have a decent wage, but it can say, you need to consider wait time. You need to consider all the expenses, so stuff like that. And we've been engaging in this. We've been talking to our legislators. One time, the authors brought in, an SEIU lobbyist. SEIU is the union that backs the California Gig Workers Union, right? And they're the folks that put this bill forward. And, everybody's listening. Nothing changed in the bill. And then Friday, out of the blue, the governor has convened the companies, I'm assuming the authors of the bill, maybe, and SEIU to work out, how this bill is going to go forward. They didn't put any strengthening language in it that we know of.
No.
But they gave Lyft and Uber millions and millions of dollars with that commercial insurance bill that they've been trying to get passed. And so the governor is blessing 1340, blessing 371 with the commercial insurance, and Lyft and Uber are walking out, of this meeting like, we support unionization. Can you imagine going into a room giving multi-billion-dollar companies this huge break and not walking out with a guaranteed dime for drivers?
Yeah. It happened. It happened, and now I know why you're mad. Look, I read it. A couple of drivers already emailed me about it. Look, this, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. So, House always wins. Seems like the case, and in my wildest dreams, right? This definitely is an exchange, right? Okay, we give you this, but we give us that. And then governor said, yep, you got it. And that's that. Yeah, it happened. So, the final version of both bills is not done yet. It's probably done this week. But when it's out, we'll keep you guys posted. But yeah, the deal was done. They got what they wanted. They wanted SB 371. And in nobody's wildest dreams, Uber and Lyft would agree to collective bargaining or unionization of gig drivers, because we're going to have a segment once you leave, because we want to do it for our channel as well, more in detail. Look, they have something called the algorithm, right? So let's say all the unionized drivers go on strike. They have so many more drivers. The algorithm will just direct all these to the non-union drivers. That's what's going to happen. And they got a good deal, man. Want to know? They got a good deal.
One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it.
Maybe something can happen in negotiations, right? Once we get the right, maybe. Here's the thing. You can have negotiations where you negotiate with somebody and they give you what they were willing to give you. And then there's negotiations where you're going to hold the line and you're going to fight for it. and it's going to hurt them, and they're going to give you more than they were planning to give you. Those are the kind of negotiations drivers need, because these companies have been taking and taking and taking. We need to be as strong as possible. And there's a little poison pill in the bill right now, and I'm hoping that that's one of the things they do is take it out. But there's a little thing in there. There's a lot. You guys know what a company union is? Like, what makes a union a company union? If they're primarily financed by the company. Not a good deal, right? You know, if dad's giving you all the allowance and dad says, no, you can't go out tonight, you're going to say yes to dad, right? So you don't want that to be an influence to your union. That's why in most unions, people pay dues, because it's better for you to give the funding to the organization that's representing you than to have the boss do it.
Yep.
So even though there's a lot of language in the bill that talks against company unionism, there's this one little piece in it that says, for a benefit that the company might give you as the union, you can receive money directly from the companies. And that's exactly what they've done in Canada. It's what they did in Washington State, where basically the companies are giving the union of record millions and millions of dollars, ostensibly to help with these deactivation clinics. But there's no rules that say that it has to be fair. It's just, you know, they'll listen to you in these clinics. It's kind of like, but the unions are getting much more money for those clinics than it takes to run them.
Yep.
And it influences the union. So I'm hoping that folks see that and they pull that out, because that would just be real poison pill.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out this week.
Give them millions of dollars.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So ultimately, I think we both agree. Uber and Lyft got a great deal out of this. Now comes the part to check on them, just to see if what they said as far as lower rider fares is going to come true. Because, you know, more than the driver community, I think we need to pay attention to the rider community, because they're like 10x more or 20x more or whatever, 30x more than the drivers. And once they figure out, oh, they told us our fares were going to go down, but the fares didn't go down at all. Oh, who's pocketing this money? Driver? Oh, no, driver's not getting that money. It's Uber and Lyft, right? Because it'll be pretty clear. I mean, if you look at their take rates, if their take rates go through the roof again, because they have gone from 9 to 32%, and if it goes higher and stocks go higher, all the stock options get exercised, they make billions more dollars, and then, you know, then we'll know. But anyway, so yeah, that's where we are. Yeah, I know why you're mad, and you have every right to be mad, Nicole. So
yeah,
and I'll give you
whatever chance we have to make this better, we should. Like, I wouldn't argue against that, but let's do it the right way, California. Come on.
I mean, if we can't do it here, right? Where else is it going to happen? Texas?
New York City. New York City is still the best place to drive.
City. Well, you know, but Massachusetts, I think it's working on, you know, collective bargaining rights, right? We'll see how that goes. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, they still have labor rights there. They still have labor rights. They still have minimum wage laws in place and all that stuff for them. So, you know, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nicole, much appreciated. Thank you for coming on. We'll keep everybody posted, but we'll have you on again when we're cashing our checks.
That's right. And sign that petition so it's a big check.
Please. Yes, all everybody, please sign the petition. Whoever's watching it now or going to watch it on the replay, please go sign it. You're not signing anything. You're not signing your life away. It's just send a message to Bob Bonta, who's the state AG, that there is so much support that they shouldn't sell the drivers out, basically. Yeah. That's what it is. Thank you. My hat's off to you. I hope everything else is going well. As you all know, Nicole lost her house in the fires, but she's hanging in there, and she's doing God's work for drivers and has a job on top of that. And I don't know how you do it, but my hat's off to you.
Yeah, Thank you. I don't know who y'all do it either. It's the drivers just holding it together. So appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Nicole. Have a good one. All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.